Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once more to Manor Lords. This town is looking really good at this point, isn't it? I think I like it a lot with all the buildings. Unfortunately, this is the end of the development tree that we have, so we cannot upgrade them any further at this point, nor can I change their layout, nor can I add, unfortunately, cobble street. Holy cow, I would love some stone streets or anything like that, because yeah, well, we have to just get used to dirt roads everywhere as long as possible. Also, yeah, I cannot upgrade the tavern. This is also something, but so far amazing job so far, amazing game so far in early access. And yeah, we continue onwards. In the last episode we have continued with a dedicated forestry area over here that is now producing a lot of planks and timber for us. Sorry, here we are. On the other hand, we have a better farming area now. Huge at this point, probably way too much for my little town, but that's that. And what I would like to do in addition to all of this is now increasing the size of my manor house. Where is it actually? Yeah, well, behind those trees. If you remember, we had a forage area here and it was actually planting trees here. Right in my manor house. This is not good, of course, especially also for defense purposes. So we can go in and yeah, we're going to need several steps to do this, right? So I would like to start with having a tax office. This is something we can do, probably somewhere here. And this is increasing then, as you might see then. Yeah, poof, my work area or my area for this. Actually, let's have it here for the moment, right? So it's a bit further outside, so that we can actually... Oh, wait a second, let's get rid of it again and have it something like that, because I would really like to get this whole area in. There you go, right? On the other side, we could... Nah, we can only build it once, which is a shame. It's cosmetic only, so I would like to have had it at least a bit symmetrical, but okay, that's that. We have the outer towers, right? So these are the ones that are a bit further outside. Unfortunately, also, once again, I would need to build a tower first to increase the range. So let's actually start with the wall, or we have the garrison tower still, but this I actually do require something. We can have the garrison tower over here somewhere to once again also increase the range of it, right? So we're going to need a couple of them anyway, so I would like to have one actually here, right? And a second one of the outer towers here. So these are my defense towers that we have on both sides, and to be completely symmetrical, we would need to have them on the other side as well. But as you can see, we're already lacking the log because you need a ridiculously high amount of stuff for this. So we can only do this step by step, and we can always just, you know, manually then adjust it. For now, let's actually start with the wall and the tax office, since this is actually something I think we should be able to provide. Right, so if I go all the way up then here, but that's also a lot of planks already. Holy moly. Right, if I want to build it like that, 64 planks, yeah, well, why not? We can do this after all. Now, after a bit of waiting, we have the resources available. Thanks to my swap, it's now working really well. And the cool thing is the game does not reset my castle planner. And in this case here, we can now build it. However, only, yeah, 2 towers for now, and we're going to expand into 4 towers on each, respectively. We could also have then the garrison tower here and here, right, or a big one then here in the back. For now though, we need to look at the resources already. They're tremendous, the cost that is, and this is going to deplete all my building material storage now. And once we have replenished it, we can always move things around within, right, and the game then just adjusts this. This is actually a feature I like quite a bit. So let's build this one. It's going to take a while anyway. Meanwhile, in the city, what I've noticed is that we have lots of malt, but not enough ale. So while the malt production is fine, also barley, lots of that in. We don't have enough breweries, most likely, to actually get the trick. And for that, let's continue then with another, oh yeah, alright, plank cities. Most of my planks are now being reserved by this construction here. So we really need to wait it out. I'm also building another logging camp once more, because I need to get rid of these trees here, and there's no tool for that other than logging camps. Right, so there we have them. And now I can actually go in and say work area to this one, and they will hopefully chop down everything in sight. Yeah, it's cold again. It doesn't matter for us. We have lots of firewood at the moment. Even exporting it to the other villages is still fine. So I'm not worried one bit. And what I'm worried about, yeah, living space is actually fine. We can, however, still continue also with that. And while I'm also doing some more upgrades here, right? Perhaps we lower the... There it is, yeah, losing my logs there. I would also need to go ahead with a few more wells. Don't forget, we had just some fire, right? And wells just are fantastic for this. So we should have a couple of them, like one over here. And I would also like to go and have another one, probably somewhere here a bit more in the center, just beside those burgages there. And beside the church. It's an ideal decoration asset there as well that we can use from time to time. We're very limited with decoration, so the well and the shrine are a few things that we can actually use from time to time, right? So that we also fill in those empty spots from time to time, like this one here as well. The game actually adds some roads then to that as well. Alright, shrine. The well has been finished. Construction of the manor, of course, with all those resources is going to take a long time. The cool thing is also then we can use this as a defense area, right? Since we have then a wall around ourselves, just in case there's a bigger attack coming in. Zweiau is running out of food. How is this possible? Alright, I mean, we have the forager hut. Berries are in. We have a lot of hunters for this. Oh, this one has no one assigned to it. The wild animal deposit does not seem to go down at all. So this should be fine. I mean, we're getting a lot of meat out to Sleepy Hollow. And this might actually be a problem then for it. Let's just wait. I don't think we're actually running out here. I have a bit of regional wealth. I could use this to also add a chicken coop and a chicken coop for Zweiau. Should be fine, really. In the meantime, the manor house is coming along. Trees are being felled. Perfect. The gate is coming along as well. I actually was really quick about with the trees. Off it goes. Yep, that wall takes all winter. We're at the end of February now. And once again, we can also only just marvel at the sights of this game. Every season is just so beautiful in its own right. The end of winter especially there too. As the snow is melting once more. In the meantime, Zweiau should also get its church. We want to upgrade this area too. And let's just see here, probably at the end of the village. The road is going over to the church and then just along here again. And then also here around it towards the King's Road. And with this, should have everything except perhaps water access. Oh my goodness, your poor souls. Why did no one tell me? And yeah, we do need to add some water. There's a water access. Very nice. That we get for these guys. 2 people can actually build this. It's going to take a while. And then we have everything for this one here to also enable deep mining for the iron deposit that we have in Zweiau. By now the next step has begun. And that is delivering the logs. Actually, it took them quite some time, right? So planks and stone first. They were building now the wall. And once this one is on the way, now they're delivering the logs for the towers then, I guess. Also interesting, of course. Several steps just for this one here. Lots of oxen we need for just this construction here. It's pretty much the biggest construction you can have in this game at the moment. Takes several stages. And I can't wait to see what else we can actually add then here over time. Almost all the logs are in at this point. The wall is closing in over here now. And yeah, with that we have it. The wall has been finished. There's still trees growing here. I do have my logging camp. There's at least one family assigned to it with just this tiny area here now, right? So whenever one of these trees is finished growing, chop them down, please. And please don't get any more logs, any more trees planted here. There it is also now. Towers are coming along. Boy, that was a long construction. all winter, and that's the second one. Now, if I want to go into the castle builder again, I can then move these up there, right? We still need to move them again, but yeah, that's that. And then we have the garrison tower. I would actually like to have at least one of these because they just look very majestic, and I'm probably going to have it just behind. Oh, it needs a road access. That's interesting. Yep, needs a road access. So we probably will need to have a road around the manor house. That would be strange though. Nope, it actually needs to be connected with the manor house. Not a road access or something. It needs to be here, right? And only then can you build it. And unfortunately you cannot build two. I mean, also wouldn't look very nice. With that, taxation can continue again, and let's just check it out. The tithe at 20% is totally fine, right? We have so much food that I really don't know what to do with it. 5 months of food supplies there as well, so this is all fine. And the land tax at 10% is actually what I would like to do maximum right now. We don't even need to do this, so I'm actually going to put it to 0 again to get that approval up, and with that also the growth rating. And then just over here, behind the manor, I could continue, or I will continue, with more houses again. So I would like to have another block here, full of houses, 16 it is. And also here along the King Road, just in front of the sawmills. This is not looking good though. This is looking better. Yeah, it's also quite the high density. We could lower this a bit, perhaps. No backyard, but yeah, it's a tiny spot that we have there. Still, let's go ahead. Just taking in the sights again. As we continue onwards with another industry that we haven't really touched yet, and that's finally using the wool. I mean, it's been a while, right? Over here we have it. It's the sheep farm, and the sheep farm is full, of course. It's been full for a while, and I thought I would need wool way earlier. The fact is you don't. Now we have the tier 3 people, and they actually want a bit more variety overall. I mean, not really, I guess. They're level 3. Level 3 we have. Food stall is a bit more. They want 4 types of food. For clothing, they're actually fine with what we have. Still would like to provide them a bit more than just leather. And for that, we can use the wool for one. And we can go in and have a look at that if we turn someone else into artisan. Burgish plot 3, for example, here. We do have still a few more shops that we haven't touched yet, right? We got the bakery extension. This is super interesting. So we don't need an oven anymore, but we can rather have a bakery in the city. And over here we got the tailor's shop in as one of these that we haven't used it. This is actually enables the production for clothes, cloaks, and gambesons. And I would like to do this as well, right? And we're probably going to use those two here to get the tailor shops then, right? Those two here. Let's just remember this one somehow. Right here in the town center. That's going to be important because with that we can open up a new shop. Also, for my industrial buildings, we actually got something here, and that's the weaver workshop. This one uses wool to produce yarn and flax to produce linen. We're going to need both of that together with the dyer's workshop. This one turns berries into dyes. Now let's just check it out. How many berries do we have? We're stuffed with it. Of course, I should not consume all the berries now. That would probably be not super nice, but we can definitely go ahead and consume some of them. And I would like to use this last extension that we have there. Right, so we're probably going ahead with a road here, and let's make it a bit curved. Something like that to get over here, right? Just along the field, really, which is, by the way, a wheat field right now. And here we have a flax field. There's lots of flax coming in this year. And here I can go ahead, first of all, having some more burgages again, but not too many, right? We can probably go ahead with this. So we have then the gardens, the back gardens, right? So let's start with those 10 here, or 10 logs. And this area we can then use for some of that new industry that I would like to touch. There is the weaver workshop that we can probably place somewhere over here, right together with the dye workshop. Just beside them, I would like to finish then this area here with 2 more burgages that we can have. They probably want some water at some point, so I could provide them a bit of water right next to it. Oh, there's no underground deposit. It's on the other side, actually. There you go. Then I can use this tiny area there for a shrine. People are very religious back in the days, and those shrines really helped them getting through the dark times. There you go. Looks like there's a drought right now or something like that. I don't know. Looks very dry, isn't it? It's August. Haven't seen it this dry yet. Is it a drought? Yes. That river here also does not have any water right now. We have a drought. I did not expect this anymore. I was just wondering on the water. All right. Yeah, it's probably reducing the output of those fields. So this is why the development tree for irrigation is probably a good idea to have at some point, right? And yeah. Okay, I mean, for now, I hope we are fine for this year's season. It looks not good. It really doesn't look good. Also some burnt bushes and stuff like that. Interesting new site that I haven't seen about this game yet. All dried out. But okay. There's still the sheep farm now. Yes, we need more pasture space. And this is also something we haven't really touched yet. And this is also something that I can do right away. Just here by the sheep farm, close to the fields, we can have also a pasture. This looks as good as any. We have 51 space here actually. So this is a tremendous sheep area we can use at some point then to get lots of wool out of this. Just here at the edge of town towards the King's Road. There's also a bit of more space that I can still use for some more burgages. Just here, together with some gardens in the background. And then perhaps also some solitary burgages out here. After all, density goes down a bit after a while. Oops, it's not this one. That was actually high density city space. Not something I would like to place here. But rather just a burgage there with minimal, right? Something like this. Like this one here. I like this a lot actually. Oh, also the bandits are very active right now. This one here, right? It looks like a farmhouse, really. And we can just imagine that there is a farmer living here close to those fields. What a beautiful game. At this point, the Weaver workshop hopefully should be finished. There it is. We can now assign someone to this. And can we actually decide on what it's produced here? Or is it producing anything really? Let's assign 2 people to this. As the dye workshop is also being finished then. Let's actually increase its priority. And the tailor shop has been finished. Here we can actually decide what we want to produce. So we can go ahead with the clothes, right? Linen and dyes it would need. We can go ahead with gambesons. This is only linen. And then the cloaks, this is yarn and dyes. So we can use both of that. If we have 2, I can then of course produce both of these. So one the yarn and one the linen. You can literally feel the heat right now. August, drought. Heat is coming down. And those poor souls have to shovel the earth. Alright, that's not coming along. This one here is not working. Yes, it's getting the wool in and yarn has already been produced. Lots of families moving in. We have a very high population growth right now. So all that space that we've built is getting occupied pretty soon. And there's also now the dye workshop coming along. Very good. Let's assign 1 person only because I'm not entirely sure I want to have more than that. Because we're actually now consuming food to make dye, right? And I really don't want to consume too much food overall. With that, also more stalls are being built here, right? Clothing store. It's getting really full there on the marketplace. I would, by the way, really, some of you might not like this, but I would like to have some high density burgage here, honestly. We'll just see if I can squeeze in some 2 burgages there. That would be ideal. Or 1 at least. 1 is possible here, and then perhaps another one here. A bit chaotic this looks. It's too small actually, alright? This is also too small, really? It's not looking too small to me. That's a shame. Very good. At this point, we have the yarn and we have the dye also coming in out of this cute little hut. Now, after all of this, my tailor should be able now to produce something seriously. And we can start with the cloaks. This is yarn and dyes, right, that we have out of this. It would be a real product now. And yeah, let's also start with the second tailor shop then, right next to it. And also what we see is shoes. We have 244 shoes. Holy cow. Like, we're even exporting some of those shoes to my other regions. And just one cobbler shop is producing all the shoes in the world right now. Do we have a second one that I overlooked? No, we don't, right? We only have one cobbler shop that is producing so many shoes. Now this weaver workshop actually produces two things at the same time, so there's no choosing for me, right? So if there's wool input, it produces yarn, and if there's flax input, it produces linen. That's actually pretty, yeah, comfortable for me. So let's just check it out then here as well with the tailor shop. We have then the cloaks now in. This is then the yarn and the dyes. And then I would like to start with the second tailor shop. Now that we have the linen coming in, we could then also use clothes for gambeson. Clothes would also need dyes though. So in this case here, I'm not in... Oh, we have 20 dyes. I think we have enough. So let's go ahead and produce clothes then. And with that, we have two types of clothes in now as well. So if there would be a tier 4, I think we would have everything for this now almost prepared. To the bustling town of Sleepy Hollow then. And to add a bit more variety, some more goats. Vegetables actually, right? Yeah, vegetables. I mean, we do have quite a lot of vegetables in, but of course we are growing rather quickly right now. More of them wouldn't hurt. Interestingly enough, also the Weaver Workshop also has a market stall, right? So they're also selling linen and yarn just by itself as a new additional type of cloth. Alright, also when looking at my storage, now we have the flax in, right? And with that also a lot of yarn and linen already plus the dyes. So this new production that we have now, the tailor shop is fully working, and we should also see this then when the clothes are coming in. Clothes, there it is, the first one. Cloaks are still missing a bit, but that's okay, as they're just started their production. Also, as we can see, there it is, clothes as a stall now. And also, I was just going into the military category. Look at that, we got 200 pole arms and 220 spears. I mean, holy cow, we could have the biggest army on this planet if we were allowed to actually get more armies out. We need more recruits. That's actually the most important thing right now. Topping it with 250 right now. Yeah, we can, however, of course, start trading some of those buggers, some of those pole arms. I would like to start with that. Some of you have been pointing out that it's not always required to actually implement a route. That is just totally right for the basic materials, where we don't need to have a dedicated trade route, right? So I can export and import stone, and I don't need to establish a trade route. The trade route only means there is a dedicated trader coming in from time to time. On the other hand, for military goods, for example, I actually do need a route, right? So I think it's also, yeah, for commodities, you also need to have a route. For the materials, you don't. So it's a bit of a mixed area here, right? For some of them you need, for some of you don't. And those weapon routes are really expensive. I mean, we can afford it at this point, but boy, that's quite a steep price here to get things going. For the pole arms, the export price is quite nice. Let's actually establish this one and start the exporting of pole arms. I think a maximum of 100 should be fine, right? That's really that. And we can also do the same thing for the spears. Let's establish this one here and export spears for also 100 maximum or minimum storage that we have for these guys here. The war bows I would like to increase to 60 as a minimum storage. That's fine. And the shields, let's also increase it to 40 that we have there right now. So that's a lot of additional money that should be coming in. The tools really stay at their minimum surplus, right? So that's just fine. The shoes we're also having. The shoes I'm already exporting to other regions, yet we still have way too many shoes. So I could also establish a new trade route here for the shoes. And let's say the minimum is 100, that's fine already. And we would have ample time to actually react if it drops below that, if demand is higher than supply. And for food, yeah, we can just stick with that. We could import apples. We don't need a trade route for this. That would be quite expensive though, right? Apples are super expensive. I wonder why. Exporting them is super cheap though, so that's not a profitable business at all. Now that's hopefully going to be even more wealth coming in. My treasury is filled, my pockets, so I really don't need to do anything with taxation. I'd rather have population growth, honestly. Growing these people up, right, and then increasing my taxation again. For even more profit. These guys have no idea what's coming for them. Now, so far so good. We're growing, and I would like to see another battle there again. And then we probably will start to wrap this series up with a good town that we have here right now to look out for new adventures. Stay tuned!